Hello, everybody. I am Dr. Marianne Assam, and I'm delighted to be with you, whatever time it is there. It's nearly bedtime here in the UK. I am a general practitioner here in the UK and have been for about the last 35 years, social prescribing being the most exciting thing that's ever come across my desk in my entire career. And it's been a privilege to be involved in your nation, kickstarting some of the social prescribing that is going on, and really just loving watching it grow. And it's great fun to join you to do a little bit of a wrap up of social prescribing in Canada. And I'm going to be looking at it very much heart and soul, because I'm really proud of all of you. And what I want to say to you tonight, I hope will really affirm the phenomenal progress that you have made, each of you, you wonderful champions, each organization, each community, each volunteer, each person who's stepped from a place of being a client into a place of volunteer and then maybe become a community champion. You are all absolutely awesome, and you are the stuff of the future of social prescribing and healthy communities in Canada. So let me define for you, in case you need it, authentic social prescribing. It must necessarily be personal. We are all unique, and the approach that we need is going to be unique, quite special to each one of us. And it is necessarily a transformative journey. A transformative journey may be the best journey of somebody's life, to make the best of their life for the rest of their life, because it's the one journey wherein those barriers that have dogged them, whichever social determinants of health, are intertwining to make life difficult, isolated, unfulfilled, frightening, maybe really quite hard to make ends meet, maybe quite cold physically, whatever the social determinants are, and whatever the physical health situations or disabilities there are that may be having an impact on those social determinants, and vice versa, because the social determinants have an impact on the physical. Whatever, social prescribing looks through all that to, well, hello, who are you? How are you? And how can I help you rediscover hope and vision? How can I help you turn from despair to a place of belief and motivation? Because that's what social prescribing does. It's an opportunity to turn an obstacle into a launch pad. It's an opportunity to take a challenge and turn it in to the beginning of something new. New friendships, new skills, new places to go, a new life. This is social prescribing. And when people have experienced it, they're never the same again. And next time a crisis comes along, well, it's not a disaster, because they've already learned that this is just another opportunity for a new start, something else exciting. So social prescribing is not just wonderful for individuals, it's amazing for communities too, because social prescribing at its best brings a community to life as a place of connection, a place of nurture and possibility. It awakens people to realize the different things about them, and it awakens the organizations that are doing their own little thing to realize that they've got more to offer the community and the agencies working within the community on behalf of the population than maybe they'd realized, because community organizations start to actually look at each other and realize between us, we could do something even more. And you get this sense of synergy and resonance and community creativity, which builds social capital, which is so much more amazing than financial capital. I know we need financial capital, but what a return on investment that there is in social capital when everybody gets on board. Social prescribing then offers all the agencies and the volunteers a chance to work in a truly holistic, collaborative and proactive way. We all talk about prevention, but we're still spending money trying to sort out the crises that haven't been prevented. So social prescribing is the perfect opportunity to get right upstream and look, okay, what's the pattern? What are the social determinants? How have things interacted? How have people been let down by the system? How can we rethink pathways and approaches which mean we genuinely start preventing some disasters? It grows a new resource through relational innovation, brainstorming together. How could we solve this? How could we look at this differently? Reaching out to other organizations, even other nations, as you have reached out to us. Can we do this differently? Can we learn? And social prescribing sets the stage for new policies. Rather than just running in the same tracks, it actually starts to challenge that. Are we really doing things in the best way for individuals, for communities, for populations, locally, nationally? It gives us an opportunity for dialogue and debate, and starts to stir an appetite for change. So why is it that social prescribing has taken off in Canada? Because I think it rather has. And I think it's rather like having lit the blue touch paper, the fire has spread across the States. And it's been so exciting to dip in every so often to different events and things that you're doing and to see it gathering momentum. And as I'm getting to know you over the years, individuals and groups, I'm reflecting today, thinking, why is it that social prescribing has been such a beautiful fit for Canada? Why is it that you've been able to take it and make it your own in all the different contexts? And I would say to you, Canada, that you have a gift in the way you respect and value the unique identity of individuals, their story, their origins, their nationality, their language, their circumstances, their priorities, and their gifts and strengths. You have a humble and beautiful appreciation of what we might call people treasure. You also have a great sense of community, of places, urban, rural, and remote. And what a variety within one lump of land that you have, and so much beauty. But within the beauty, the sense of the estates, the nature, the inhabitants in there, where people like to go and retire near the water and then find themselves in a rather cold, damp, isolated place because they'd always wanted to have a boat. You have a sense of place and the way people like to nestle within that. You have a sense of neighbourhood riches in all the different settings that Canada finds herself. And your agencies, statutory and voluntary, are committed to doing their jobs well. I think everybody that I've had the privilege to meet in Canada doing any people-focused job has been focused and energetic and keen to learn, very eager to make conversation and to build bridges with us, which has been awesome to watch. You're ready to work cross-boundary. You're not stuck in your silos. You're ready to make things happen. You are collaborative. You are creative. You listen, you really listen. You listen to derive that from the conversation, which is going to give you the next bits of the jigsaw. And you share. You are willing to give away anything that you've learned that's helped you. You are willing to share that with others. And we've learned lots from you as we've worked with you, because there is that sense of you're not mean with it in any way at all. You know, if what you've got will help us, you share it. I'd say you have about you a blessing of service and a service of blessing. That's who you are. And so as you are growing this big picture of social prescribing, I also noticed that you were very careful at the beginning to work out what the foundation would need to look like and what the building bricks would need to look like. And right at the first bit of the pilot, I have to say, in the Alliance, I was very impressed, was to get read codes and get things put on the medical records so that you'd be able to start counting what you did. You looked to define the measurables and the methods by which you'd measure those, so that right at the outset, you were poised to prove that what you were doing was the right thing. Poised to make the case for this being sustainable, first in Ontario and then in the rest of the nation as the doors have opened up. So that understanding that if anything is going to really last in a nation, within agencies, across a population, on behalf of those unique individuals, you counted the cost and you got yourselves well organized. And that's really laudable, because that gives you an acceleration into making that case, building that evidence, getting together those champions and empowering them to really put the messages across that are needed to change the way things work so that people get the best shot of their various lives. You have become ambassadors of the good news of social prescribing. So there we go. That's you guys. You are amazing. You recognize people treasure, neighborhood riches. You are equipped with the blessing of service and the service of blessing, and you have become international ambassadors of the good news. And the way you tell it, with the evidence and the anecdotes and the fantastic stories, even people get cooking together and end up getting married and going fishing and all the awesome things that you get up to. You have really given social prescribing just the kind of press it's needed in the nation. And you will know that there are still people that are naysayers and saying, you know, it's not worth the money. We've had a rude article in the newspaper in the UK this week. And, you know, there are people who think that it is not a good investment. They just don't know, with respect, what they're actually talking about, do they? But the way that you guys have approached it, you are building the evidence, you are challenging the policy, you are making the impossible possible. You have really sincerely taken social prescribing and grown it and beautified it and flexed it about. And it's just wonderful the way that you bounce ideas between yourselves. And, you know, one remote area will help another remote area, one urban area will reach to another. And although the problems may be different, anything that could be shared, you share, which is absolutely awesome. So I am incredibly proud to be an honorary member of the Canadian social prescribing fraternity, community of practice, whatever you like to call yourself. And whenever you guys ask me, can I jump on and say hello? If I can, I always do. I promise you, you have a priority slot in my diary anytime. So that's 17, nearly 18 minutes. That means I think we've got about 7 minutes for questions. So if you'd like to fire some in the chat box, it's popping up just here and I will be able to spot it. How's that? Anybody there? Natasha, you're back. Any questions, anybody? Do you all know you're wonderful? Do you need me to tell you again? So any questions? I think that technical man has muted everybody. You can't unmute yourself, can you really? That's what he does. He's a funny guy. He made rude comments about my hairdo. Then he played music when I was trying to concentrate. And now he's just muting everybody. He may have gone off and had a cup of tea. Okay, what if we want to bring more social prescribing to our profession? Nuggets of inspiration. Really, it's the stories. Yeah, you are muted. Sorry about that. That's what he's like. You've got to tell the stories. That it's not just about responding to a short-term need. It's about going in a way that coaches empowerment, because this is the fabulous thing. It builds resilience and people want to get on and do the next bit themselves. Don't just become dependent on whoever has helped them. They actually have that ability to solve the next problem. This is why it's so exciting. So it's not, as you know, as a practitioner, it's not just about constantly handing out the help. It's about transforming their lives such that they are able to go find the help, and then they're able to go and help somebody else. This is what changes communities. So keep telling the stories. and tell people this is long lasting. It's the only long lasting stuff. Sincerely, guys, in 35 years general practice, I never had anything that would actually get somebody that had not been in work for 10 years back into work. I never get, you know, it just, these things didn't happen. You didn't see people anything more than sort of propped up. Now we see them mobilized. Some of the presentations today talk about infrastructural challenges, poverty, racism. Other presentations do not include those issues. Plain old community development that's been lost in the digital age. Well, there is that. But the great thing is, where you have the heart and the gift, and you do, Canada, you can bring this to life. You know, don't be put off by digital. Don't be put off by, you know, just remember who you are. You know, remember who you are. You do treasure people. You do know that we're all unique. I mean, population health management, big challenge. Social prescribing is population health management, one precious, unique individual at a time. This is what changes populations. You have to bring your population down to the person in front of you and genuinely care about them, care about what matters to them. And it all begins, and it's marvelous.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Dr. Assam. You're like our auntie who gives us the pep talk we need to hear. That's how I feel. You're Canadian social prescribing's auntie. That
We've had some fun. Have we had any contact with the European Society? No, but thank you. What kind of role government should play in social prescribing? Now, you need to find out who in there gets this and get them just to start gossiping it in government. Because actually, when they get hold of it, you know, they're going to realize it's going to save them money. They're going to invest upstream. And this is what happened in the UK, you see. I mean, social prescribing was like a social movement. And then the NHS started to realize that they might save some money if they got on board with it. And now it's national policy. And of course, ultimately, it's all about, you know, making the best of the public pound, if you like. But within that, there have been some real champions that have grasped the beauty of personal empowerment and the rhetoric of personalized care in our NHS and our government is not hollow, which is fantastic. Studies are showing little cost effectiveness. What we're doing, if we're not demonstrating it, is we're not thinking far enough as to what somebody would cost us without that intervention. I think we've got to start costing the avoided admissions, the avoided disability, the avoided catastrophes on account of isolation, the avoided carer stress, the avoided intergenerational problems, the avoided elder abuse, the avoided, and start costing that in. And then you start realizing that you are really saving the nation money. Yeah. Any more? We're nearly done time-wise. I've got my little ticker here.
I have a few, just a few closing remarks to make as well. So not to jump in.
You're welcome. Hang on, there we go. The meaning of me, social prescribing. Wonderful. Well, look, guys, I'm going to tell you once more that you are wonderful and remind you that you are especially gifted in recognizing people treasure neighborhood riches, the blessing of service, the service of blessing. You are ambassadors of the good news of social prescribing, and Auntie's very proud of you.
That's awesome. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining us today and ending our day with such a positive, inspiring note. So I am going to announce some more door prize winners. So if people are able to stay just for a few more minutes, I just want to really close our day, our beautiful, wonderful day we've had. And speaking of people treasures, I think everyone here has been a real people treasure, sharing their knowledge and information and wisdom so wonderfully. I have a big list of thank yous that I'm going to go through. So first, I'm going to start off with thanking our sponsors. So I'd like to thank Access Alliance Language and Interpretation Services, our main sponsor. If you're doing any social prescribing work with folks who don't speak English or French, this is a key tool to use. I'd like to thank Chapman's, Tetley Tea, Peace by Chocolate, Toronto Yoga, and Lululemon as our sponsors for the day. I'd like to give a big shout out to AV Canada, who has been our technical support and have really worked a lot of magic here today. So, and especially thank you to Stefan, Jake, and Anthony, who we worked closely with. I'd like to thank all the organizations who made this possible, who partnered with the Alliance for Healthier Communities and worked with us. So Cascades, the Canadian Student Social Prescribing Collective, the Older Adult Centers Association of Ontario, the Canadian Institute for Social Prescribing, the Arts and Culture and Wellbeing Community of Practice, the Indigenous Primary Healthcare Council, the Black Health Alliance, our Seniors Active Living Centers, our community health centers, our team-based primary care centers. So all of those who really showed up today, thank you so much. And I also just want to thank the folks who helped organize this conference. I'm just going to thank really briefly. Thank you for everyone for your patience, but my colleagues at the Alliance, so Sonia Buji Raja, Josephine Pham, Ayaz Syed, Catherine McDonald, Robin Calda, Joyce Morocco, our Oak House staff, Sue Hedgedell, Dina Silverberg, Director of CISP, Sonia Shung, and Dr. Dominic Nowak. Thank you so much for your help in organizing this. And now I'd like to thank everyone for participating, because you created the energy here. All the participants created the awesome, energizing, real talk. We had a lot of real talk today, a lot of energizing, a lot of inspiration. So thank you to all the participants. So we have 15 more door prizes to give out right now. So free yoga passes from our sponsor, the Toronto Yoga Company. So winners will receive a confirmation email in their inbox. So without further ado, I will announce the names. Roseanne Van Hoof, Lavania Jagannathan, Jackie Kreikel, Wendy Kasare Speakman, Shraddha Pandey, Mitch Chai, Betty Ferreira, Nicole Baum, Andra Godoy, Sharon Guamadi, Jane Teasdale, Jackie Liang, Sivan Bombs, Suzanne Texera, and remember to complete our post-conference evaluation survey to potentially win one of 2 $100 Lululemon gift certificates. And just to close, my last thought that I will leave you with. So I don't know if those of you who got your package, you might have some, I'll unblur my background. So you may have been working on some of the therapeutic coloring. So I just like to share, this is what I worked on today. It's a little fox reading a book. So if anyone would like to take off their camera and share, I'm not sure if you're able to, hopefully you're able to, or you could put it in the chat if you want to share any of the coloring you've been working on. So we had some great coloring pages provided by the AGO and provided by our artist. And we also had a conference-specific therapeutic coloring. So if anyone would like to share their art, I'm not sure if the technician can allow people to turn their cameras on and we can see some faces. And some art maybe, or maybe you could post your art in the chat if you want to share. Okay, I'm seeing some art coming up. Beautiful. All right, I'm seeing a few. Let's see if we can see some more. Okay. Oh, beautiful. Some beautiful stuff. Yeah, let's see if we can change to gallery view. That will help. Great suggestion. Okay. All right. Maybe people did not get to their coloring or they're too shy to share it. That's okay. You don't have to feel shy. And I see Robin and I see Kim are sharing their art. Anyone else? Do we have anyone else have some art to share? Okay, well, you can take your coloring and work on it during the next Zoom meeting you attend. So we do have one more session, which is a networking session. So if you want to keep the conversation going, you can jump right into the networking session. And of course, I think we're going to keep the conversations going in many ways. So thank you so much, everyone, for bringing yourselves, your people treasures, and bringing yourselves fully to this meeting today. Thank you so much. Have a great evening, everyone.